Hello, my name's Steve, and this is Christianity Out Loud. Welcome to the very first weekly word. So, thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, thank you for listening, whatever your preferred method is. This is going up on YouTube and Rumble and Locals, if you're familiar with that community, Spotify, Apple, all of the places. This is going up everywhere. So this has been a long time coming. Coming up with an idea, getting a logo, writing some content, deciding how often to do this, getting some merchandising set up, a few other things, as well as writing a book in the meantime, and throw a couple of lockdowns in just for good measure. So this has been a long time coming, and I'm really excited that this is the first one. Hopefully the first of many. So what am I doing with this? Well, my desire is simply to see Christianity and Christians by relationship represented in the public square, in the public sphere, in the conversation that society and culture has. If the claim is that we live in a tolerant and inclusive society, then Christians deserve to have a voice. Christians deserve to have a say. It matters what Christianity as a worldview says about certain things. It really does matter. It's important to have all voices heard. Now it seems to me, and not to get overly political in the first one, that looking in the direction of a few state premiers here, that Christianity seems to be pushed to the side ever increasingly. So, and I just want to throw my hat in the ring, as it were, and contribute to what is a public conversation. So I will be looking at various different things. I'll be looking at anything really, political or cultural or social or sporting, or any news articles that I come across, or any comments that people make publicly, or anything really, looking at how I think we should be reacting and responding as Christians, as followers of Jesus Christ, and as believers of the Bible. So, and on that note, actually, I find it very interesting, the number of Christians who are just calling for the blind following of all edicts being spoken by elected, non-elected officials regarding our current circumstances. I find that interesting. To them, I would like their opinion. I'd very much like their opinion on Daniel chapter 6, because it seems to me that Daniel, when presented with a edict from government, that seems to me that he willingly disobeyed that and was happy to accept the consequences that came his way. So just leave that out there. It seems to me that there's far more nuance than is being presented by all sides currently. However, despite all of the hyperbolic language and often what I feel is a bit hypocritical behaviour from politicians and media alike regarding the current circumstances, I'm not going to spend too much time on that for this very first time. I'm actually going to do a bit of shameless promotion of my book. I'll just bring it in there so you can have a look at it. That's the cover. It is called The Bread of Life, The Simple Gospel. That's me at the top there. It's available through Westbow Press. That's West, W-E-S-T-B-O-W, spelt as you think it should be, westbowpress.com. That's the publisher. It's also available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Google Books, just do a search of the title and my name, and it shouldn't be too hard to find. If you do buy it and read it, just a suggestion that perhaps you don't pay too much attention to the dedication. I'll leave that there. If you want to know more, you'll have to go and buy it and read it, but just move past the dedication, please. If you read it, you'll know what I mean, and rest assured I did write it, and it was published before certain things, certain alleged things became public. So I'll leave that one with you. A bit of a backstory to the book. Excuse me. I used to deliver regular devotions, I guess you'd call them, and people who heard them seemed to like what I had to say. So when COVID hits and the response is to shut everything down and lock everything down, I found myself with a fair bit more spare time. So I gave fairly serious thought to putting all of these thoughts into a logical, coherent format and try my hand at writing a book. So how do you start writing a book? Well, it helps to have a structure. And so I decided to base it on the I am statements from Jesus in the Gospel of John, because that's at least a clear structure then. By complete coincidence, the church I attend also decided to start a series on the I am statements in the Gospel of John at the same time. So, happy days. I thought, you do yours, I'll do mine, I'll follow at the same time, and we can see where any points of difference are, or more to the point, we can see where I'm off the mark with perhaps some of my thoughts. But surprisingly, I guess, or surprisingly to me, I seem to agree with everything that was preached, which I guess is a good thing. What's in a name? The simple gospel. Well, I think the gospel message is a simple message to me. It's simple. We are presented with the option of accepting Jesus and following him or not. They're the options. It doesn't seem to be more complicated than that. I think Reformed theology, not to bash Reformed theology, but I think that complicates the message a little bit. And not to bash something like prosperity gospel, but I think oftentimes that theology and that worldview misses the gospel message. And we can tie ourselves in knots trying to figure out what is right. Where should we go? We should go back to the Word, back to the Bible. Not back to my book necessarily, but that's why it's based on the things that Jesus said. So not necessarily in order, but I look at the way, the truth, the life. I look at the light of the world, the true vine, the door and the good shepherd, the resurrection and the life, and the bread of life. That's the title, the bread of life. And it was when I was studying for my Masters of Education through Queensland University of Technology that I came across postmodern philosophy. And a quick shout out to QUT for keeping postmodernism alive in the tertiary institutions in Australia. So well done you. I struggled with postmodernism when I first came across it. I did not understand it. But once I explored it, when I realised it made no sense, then I understood it more. It makes no sense. Once I stopped trying to make sense of something that is nonsense, I at least had some understanding of how to approach it. So the book explores a little bit of that. The book explores some personal anecdotes as well. It's got some scripture. It's got some other stories as well. And it is written so that anybody can understand it. when writing the first book, write it for a broad audience, so you try and attract as many people to buying it as possible. So it is written for anybody and any audience. I say so at the beginning there that if you are exploring faith, if you're watching this, for example, and you're new to faith, you've got no idea what it's all about, I hope to unpack what Jesus says and show you who he was through his words. If you're a young Christian, you're fairly new to faith, haven't been walking the journey for a long time, I hope to, again, unpack them and see you grow in faith whilst you maintain your sense of wonder at the gospel message. That's the last chapter, the wonder. And if you are a long way into your faith, you're an experienced Christian, you've seen it, you've done it all before, then I really hope just to remind you of the simplicity of the gospel message that perhaps has been lost a little bit along the way, as can happen. So that's a little bit about the book. Again, it's available through westbowpress.com, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Google Books, or just search that with my name. Yes, I did introduce myself as Steve at the beginning. I have published the book under my full name, just to make it seem a little bit more formal. I have another book in the works. If I am fortunate enough to have that published, I will also use Stephen J. Hanna as well. So I'll put a link to all of that below. So what about this? What about Christianity out loud? What am I trying to do? What do I want this to be? Well, I'd love it to be successful for a start. As you can probably tell, this is not the highest quality. This is not, I don't have a large budget that I'm working with here. You are watching that being filmed on an old iPad. I have a laptop with some notes to my right. I have a little Zoom recorder here that's working as a microphone. So it is what it is for the moment. That's certainly not going to stop me doing anything. But I would like to see this be. I'd love this to be successful. Not for me, but I'd love it to reach people and to give them either a Christian perspective that they hadn't otherwise considered, or provide Christians and Christianity with another voice out in the internet world, out in the public sphere that may not otherwise be there. I mean, I speak with people who are very passionate about topics and ideas and things and worldviews and Christianity, but they don't necessarily have the drive or the capacity, regardless of what it is, to do something like this. And that's absolutely not a detrimental statement towards them, but I'm prepared to take that step. I'm prepared to be that person, to be that voice. So, I mean, the Australian Christian Lobby does their thing, and good for them. The Centre for Public Christianity does theirs, and also good for them. I'm not saying I wish to be either of those. I'm just saying they are two that I'm aware of, two public Christian organisations that I'm aware of. And now, for the first time, Christianity Out Loud has joined, and I am really excited about where this could go. I've got a lot of other ideas. This is a weekly word. I've got ideas for daily dose or monthly monologue, talking with other people. We will see how time goes with work commitments and family commitments and all those things. So I will be putting out weekly. To start with, I'll be putting out weekly word, hence the title, Weekly Word. So this is the first one. It will be uploaded Tuesday evening. With all luck and technology working for me, not against me, it will be uploaded Tuesday. evenings. So that is going to be the plan from going forward. Will be Tuesday evenings, record and upload. And I've already got content for the second one, so that's starting to take shape very nicely. Once the website is up and running, there'll be ways for other content to be delivered via subscription, as well as through the locals community. But most of what I'm doing here will be free. It will be available on all platforms. So if you like it, please subscribe. Really, that would be wonderful, and I would greatly appreciate that. Share it, and yeah, until next week. God bless.